Stop for a moment. Imagine this scene. Millions of people are sitting in front of their TVs. Some are screaming. Some have painted their faces in their team's colors. Some are literally heartbroken, all because 11 strangers lost a game. But at the exact same moment, there's another group of people watching all of this and thinking one simple thing. Why does anyone care this much? If you're one of those people who simply don't care about sports, this story is for you. Because here's the truth nobody talks about. Not caring about sports does not mean you're boring. It doesn't mean you lack passion. And it definitely doesn't mean something is wrong with you. In fact, neuroscience suggests something fascinating. Your brain might simply be wired differently. And once you understand why, you'll never look at sports fans or yourself the same way again. To understand why sports are so powerful, we need to go thousands of years back. Humans have always been tribal creatures. In ancient times, belonging to a group meant survival. Your tribe protected you. Your tribe helped you hunt. Your tribe kept you alive. Being part of a group wasn't just important. It was everything. Now fast forward to modern times. Sports teams have become modern tribes. Instead of warriors, we have athletes. Instead of tribal symbols, we have jerseys and logos. And when someone watches their favorite team play, something amazing happens inside their brain. Their brain releases a hormone called oxytocin. This is the same chemical that strengthens bonds between family members and close friends. In other words, your brain starts treating a group of professional athletes like they are part of your tribe. That's why fans say, "We won," even though they never stepped on the field. But here's where things get interesting. People who don't care about sports often have lower tribal instincts. Their identity isn't strongly tied to belonging to a group. They tend to think more independently. They don't feel the same emotional pull toward teams or fan communities. And that difference is completely normal. Now let's talk about what happens in the brain during a game. Have you ever noticed the feeling right before opening a gift? That excitement, that anticipation, that feeling comes from dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Sports fans experience that same dopamine rush over and over again during a game. Every pass, every shot, every near miss. Their brain gets tiny bursts of anticipation and reward. And here's the shocking part. Brain scans show that watching your favorite team activates the same reward centers involved in gambling. Why? Because sports are unpredictable. You don't know who will win. And that uncertainty is incredibly powerful for the brain. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same mechanism used in slot machines. Your brain keeps coming back because the next moment might bring a reward. But people who don't care about sports experience something very different. Their brains simply don't get the same dopamine response from watching competition. So for them, a game is just a game, not an emotional roller coaster. And interestingly, research suggests this difference might even be partly genetic. Your level of interest in spectator sports could actually be influenced by your dopamine receptor genes. Here's another surprising discovery. Some studies show that sports fans often score higher on certain empathy tests. Why? Because they deeply care about the struggles and successes of their team's players. But that raises an important question. Why don't people who dislike sports feel the same empathy for athletes? The answer is something psychologists call empathy allocation. Every human being has a limited emotional capacity. We can't care deeply about everything, so we choose where our emotional energy goes. Sports fans invest their emotions in teams and players. Non-sports people often invest that same energy somewhere else. For example, art, music, nature, creative work, ideas, close relationships, personal goals. In fact, a 2021 study found that people who show little interest in sports often score higher in openness to experience and appreciation for art and beauty. They're still searching for excitement, meaning, and emotional highs. They're just finding them in different places. At the end of the day, the real difference between sports fans and non-fans comes down to how people experience meaning. Sports fans find meaning in stories. The underdog victory, the dramatic comeback, the legendary rivalry. Every game feels like a real-life drama unfolding in front of them. But people who don't care about sports often see it differently. They ask a simple question. Why should I emotionally invest in something I can't control, played by people I don't know, in a game that doesn't affect my life? And honestly, that perspective makes sense too. Instead of watching someone else's story, many non-sports people prefer focusing on their own story. They want to create, build, explore, learn, live the experience directly rather than watching it from the sidelines. Neither approach is better. There's simply two different ways of navigating life. So the next time someone asks you, "Did you watch the game last night?" and you honestly couldn't care less, remember this. You're not boring. You're not broken. Your brain is just playing a completely different game. And who knows? It might even be the one with the higher stakes.